This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechtech Musar podcast. We continue with Pirkei Avos, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Yud Aleph. Avtalyun Omer, Chachamim Hizar b'devreichem. Wise men, be careful with your words. Shema techovu choy as galus v'tiglu l'makam mayim aroim. Be careful with your words, for you may incur the penalty of exile and be banished to a place of evil waters. Which means that if you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, you get swallowed up with the wrong crowd, you're going to end up in the wrong place, and what's going to happen? You're going to be gala, you're going to be exiled to a place of bad waters, means to a place that's going to lead to one's downfall, to his demise. Chas v'shalom v'yishtu tamidim abba macharei v'yamusu v'nimsa sham shamayim ischal. And if he is in a place of rabbanus, in a place of teaching, in a place of hashpah, giving over to others, if he ends up in this place, then his disciples who follow him are also going to drink those waters, meaning they're going to get caught up in that same negative influence, and they can die, and consequently, the name of Shamayim will be desecrated. Moving on to Mishnah Yud Beis. So Hil v'Shamai kiblu mehem. Hil and Shammai, they were makabel the Torah from Shammai and Avtalyon. Hillel Omer, Hevi mitalmidov shel Aaron. This is a very famous Mishnah. What does Hillel say? Hevi mitalmidov shel Aaron. You shall learn from the drachim, from the ways, from the manhagos of Aaron HaKohen, and firzach, act in accordance with his midas. Because what did he say? Oyev shalom, v'oyev shalom. A person should not only love shalom, which is to love shalom, but he should also pursue it. As hard and as difficult as it is, as we all know, it's very, very hard to do this, to accomplish this. And that's why we have to have, the Mishnah tell us to do this. You have to have a Tana say, not only just love conceptually, theoretically, hypothetically, the idea of Shalom. Yeah, we all love Shalom. But says, the Tana says, Hillel, Roidev Shalom, which is very hard. And what does that mean? His amitz, lahashkin Shalom ben Adam lachaveru ben ish l'ishtay. A person should be zealous and he should awaken himself and come with amitz koyach, with vigor, grit and determination to do whatever he can to make shalom between him and his friends, him and his wife. As the pasuk can tell him, says, Bakei shalom v'adfeyu. It's not just enough to be oyev shalom, you have to be bakesh, you have to pursue it. You have to do everything you can v'adfeyu, and you have to chase it. Why do you have to chase it? Because it doesn't just walk away, it runs very fast, like a missile. And you got to chase that missile. You got to get on your bomber and your planes and chase it down and attack it. Because if you're not in the driver's seat and you're not pursuing it and you're not doing everything you can to have shalom, it's going to run. It's going to flee very fast. That is the nature, as we all know, of shalom. And if we don't do that, then the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed because of sinas chinam. And if we want to rectify that, we want to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash, add building blocks, not destruction to the Beis HaMikdash, we have to be Oyev Shalom, but that's not enough. Roidev Shalom, we have to pursue it with our guf, with our neshama, and we have to realize that it is the core and the side of Yidden, of Klal Yisrael, of ourselves, to be Oyev Shalom, Roidev Shalom. I saw a beautiful Maisa about the great Rabbi Aryeh Levine. Mamish, he embodied what it says over here in this Mishnah, Oyev Shalom, Roidev Shalom. Rabbi Aryeh Levine lived in Yerushalayim, as a tzaddik of Yerushalayim, and he had two neighbors that got into a fight. And time went on, and nothing was done about it. And one day Rabbi Levine said, this is terrible. Two Yidden, two neighbors fighting under my watch. This cannot go on any longer. And just as the Mishnah says, Rabbi Aryeh went down to one of the neighbors. We'll call him Ruvain. And he said, Ruvain. And Reuven said, Rabbi Levine, the Gadol Dar, what are you doing at my house? You should be learning. Why are you coming to me? I'm so honored. Kvei the Rav. What are you doing here? And Rabbi looked at this Reuven and he said, Reuven, I'm so sorry. I must ask you Mechila. And he said, Mechila for me? The Gadol Dar, the Tzaddik, Rabbi Aryeh, you're asking me Mechila? There's nothing you've ever done in your entire life that you'd have to ask me Mechila. And he said, I have to ask you Mechila, Reb Reuven, because I know that you are not on talking terms with Shimon. and it's under my watch. I know about this, and I'm responsible, and I'm asking you mechila. And Reuven says, I don't understand, but you didn't do anything, it wasn't you. He said, yeah, but I'm taking responsibility. This is my achrayus. He said there should be shalom in Klal Yisrael, and therefore I'm asking mechila on behalf of the entire situation, on the entire not talking, and please be meichel me. And he said, if you're asking me mechila, of course, the gadol dar, the tzaddik dar, I have to be meichel you. Meichelach, machlach, machlach. And he said, I'm meichel Shimon, of course, it's your covet, it's your dignity, how can it not be meichel? And Rabbi Aryeh went to Shimon, knocked on his door. Same exact thing happened. Shimon opens the door, and Shimon says, Rabbi Aryeh, the gadol dar, the tzaddik, kvei the Rav, what are you doing over here? And Rabbi Aryeh says, I'm sorry, I have to ask you forgiveness. And he said, you asking me mechila? You're the tzaddik, you're the gadol dar. What? And he said, yeah, but I realized that it's been years since you spoke to Reuven, and it's my responsibility, and I feel so bad, and it's on my shoulders, and I need to ask you mechila. And he said, you're asking mechila for Reuven? He said, this is your cover, this is your dignity, you're getting involved. He said, how can I bear a grudge if it's going to be on your cheshbon? He said, of course I'm meichel Reuven. Shimon is meichel Reuven, Reuven is meichel Shimon. They saw each other, they embraced each other, they loved each other thereafter. In this chus of Rabbi Aryeh realizing that has to be shalom in the world, shalom in his neighbors, and he took responsibility. Oyev shalom v'roidev shalom doesn't just mean to love shalom and say, okay, I love shalom, and if there's a fight between other people, I'm not going to get involved, I'm not going to mingle, I'm not going to mesh in because it's their issue. Roidev shalom means that it is a colossal, global, national issue, and the world depends on it, and I realize that. And as uncomfortable as it was for the tzaddik gadol to knock on Reuven's door and to knock on Shimon's door, it was an achrayus to upkeep brisi haisa ita echayim v'ashalom. The world spins on peace. The world spins on harmony and unity. And where we're lacking that, when we're bereft of that, there's imminent threat of the Bayis Shlishi not being rebuilt. And that's what gave Rabbi Aryeh the recognition to go over, as uncomfortable as it was, for him to get involved and say, yes, I love shalom, but is it not enough just to love shalom, roidev shalom. I'm going to knock on your door and make peace between you. And they became friends after. And who knows this chus, mi'idea, the bricks that were built in his chus, in Reuven and Shimon's chus, but realizing this, brisi haisa ita yachaim hashalom, shalom brings peace to the world, it upkeeps our bris with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it Mirza Hashem will rebuild the Bayis Shlishi with the arrival of Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mher v'imenu. Amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.